There we go. Hello. Right. Audio is now working. That's better. Welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns. I'm your host, Din. This is the Link to the Past Randomizer Crosskeys tournament. We're up to the losers bracket round 5. Alaszun versus Waterleau. Two very, very good players in this match. And loser's going to be out of the tournament, unfortunately. But we're hoping for a good run today. Fingers crossed. We have got on commentary with me today, Cyberchow and Professor Renderer. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Alright, they are both live, so we're just waiting for this ready up. Should be away very shortly, I hope. This is a very funky MSU we got going. Don't know what it is, but I like it.
Oh, I know what this is. This is the Danganronpa MSU pack created by ZeldaSpeedRuns.
Nice. Okay, counting down now.
And we are off. We're getting the Link's House start.
And it looks like waterleau is going to go and check out the drop down for the Uncle start, while Alaszun is also going to be checking out the mushroom spots where the potion shop is.
Yeah, that is a common start that I see. People head over and check the fairy drop down after grabbing this one entrance here. We see just green rupees from the first tree pole. And we've got Magic Bat at the Uncle drop down. So going to need the powder or the mushroom and cane. And we get a power glove in Sanctuary. That is very nice to see early, because that puts another drop down available if it turns out that Vanilla Sank has something good. And we see a cape in the Lost Woods.
So that cape is pretty nice. It's early on, but it doesn't really open up too much. It's a nice invincibility item.
Yeah, it's also good if you end up running into Bumper Cave early, because it allows you to get through that connector. And it looks like the fairy drop down is just vanilla. And Alaszun's going to set up a Houlihan, while Waterloo is going to pick up a couple of chests in Super Bunny Cave.
Alaszun going to get those 225 rupees from the Houlihan room.
Yeah, that's a good early play. Because eventually you want to go into Kakariko, because it's so rich in entrances. And we see that mushroom right off the bat. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if you want to turn that in right away, or save it, see if you can get an early cane for fake powder. Until I actually see the potion shop, I wouldn't turn that in yet. And we see a Turtle Rock entrance up on... Actually, I've already forgotten which side of the screen it was on.
I didn't keep note of that too. Alaszun seeing 3 bombs from off of the.
Chats or our trackers reminding us that was on Alaszun's side. I was.
Waterloo finding it ice rod cave, which gives us a bow.
Ooh, that is a very interesting early find. And we see our first connector to Dark Death Mountain, and it takes us to Floating Island. That's a connector you like to find, because that can troll you at times. And we see another connector. He's not going to take that just yet. Instead, he's going to find Ice Palace. And now he's going to take that connector. And takes him to the arrow shop in South Dark World, but he doesn't see anything else he can really do with that. And we find that that means we need to beat Aga 1 to get to the Ganon fight today.
So that also means we need to find Aga Tower and get the 2 castle tower keys.
Yep, and the boots, but you usually want boots regardless, but yep, and we find a first small key of the match, but it is to Ice Palace. Well, the first Ice Palace small key is useful and is always logically required. Yep, and we see a small key on Lumberjack Ledge, which is at the Sank drop down, so we can get to that right away with that early glove in the real Sank.
So that small key is going to lead us to Thieves Town.
Thieves Town small, nice and early.
Now, Alaszun, looking at the Kakariko checks now, there's the back of Skull Woods.
Okay. So we found a couple of dungeons early.
Alaszun going to Death Warp out of there.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the correct call at the moment. And Waterloo is going to turn in that mushroom, finds the old man cave, so when we manage to rescue the old man, it'll spit us out there. I don't feel like that's a terribly useful spot, but the old man's cave is a connector, so. And we get a key in the Thieves' Hideout. It is our first pod small. So that opens up a couple extra chests in pod.
Yeah, the first of 6.
Mm-hmm.
Alaszun finding King's Tomb.
With another heart piece, and Waterloo has done the Houlihan as well. And bottle vendor selling a blue boomerang. Oh, and it looks like we've found Aga Tower.
And it's in a really nice spot too. It's in Kakariko. So once we find those 2 castle tower keys, we can try and kill Aga. We can start killing Aga 1 once we have the necessary equipment to do such a thing.
Mm-hmm. And finding a conveniently located bomb shop. And there's our first Hyrule Castle entrance.
And Swamp Palace is in Sick Kid's house.
Okay, so we've definitely got a nice little collection of dungeons here. Getting a full heart container from the back of the tavern. And both of them are seeing a second T-Rock entrance. You can probably get a little bit there, but don't really want to try. We get a graveyard ledge found. And with the blue mail, that'll make it a little easier to start dipping into these Dark World dungeons if you want to.
I'm always happy to see early blue mail in any seed. It's not just Crosskeys, but in just pretty much any other seed that I could think of. And there's the well.
Yeah,
blocked by a hammer.
Blocked by either hammer or mitts and mirror and access to. Well, we've actually seen a connector that leads into. Actually, we haven't seen one that leads to that side. That well, no, you'd need the moon pearl to get in there anyway, unless a connector spits you out of hammer pegs. You'd need the mitts and moon pearl to get into there anyway.
And we find Quick out of Laser Bridge.
Yeah, and so that's 3 out of 4 Turtle Rock entrances already found. And Sick Kid, not that far away, and I guess it says on the tracker that he has a bottle, but I guess that's not quite right. And we find what was it? The Smiths. Oh, yeah, he did have a bottle, but he forgot that he had just picked up a bottle and did not actually turn it in to Sick Kid. Full heart container at Race Game, so if we find our way into there, I don't know if they'd really go out of their way for that.
Alaszun, I believe, is now going to head over towards the gamble game up in the Lost Woods, which was the aforementioned Super Bunny Cave entrance.
Yep. And Waterloo is going to explore this Hyrule Castle. It's going to be a little tricky, but I'm sure these runners have practiced bomb escapes before.
Yeah, these runners are at the top of their game, and they are very confident in their bomb escapes.
Picking up a big 300 rupees. That's It's now just 9 rupees away from being able to afford Zora's item, and that is in logic with that early glove. Yes, our restreamer brings up the point that the bomb escape is actually made even easier with that blue boomerang, which will allow them to stun their enemies if they so choose. And getting a bomb back from that guard after defeating him.
Five rupees out of that boomerang chest as Alaszun gets the bow out of Ice Rod Cave.
And Waterloo will have a slightly easier time death warping this because he has not yet made it over to that blue mail pickup, so. But yeah, he doesn't seem terribly interested in death warping.
Alaszun gonna look at what is over at the entrance to Death Mountain. It's just the tavern, front of the tavern to be more precise.
And now Waterloo has decided, oh yeah, I should have just left that green card alive and death warped. Let me just do that here. Oh, and nice splash delete. Alaszun is using, I believe that's Freya from Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah, that is Freya, one of the more newer sprites that were added into one of the latest versions of the game.
Oh, and we found that dam, so that Swamp Palace is entirely... Oh, and takes out the cape, but ends up spending that fairy before he can get it on. And there's that big key to Hera and that Quake medallion. So let's see if Waterloo remembers. I'm sure he'll remember that he has a bottle, having just gotten revived with it. So let's see what it was that Alaszun skipped. Well, first he's going to check what's at the end of race game. And there's a connector leading out onto the Death Mountain spot. Oh, and it was just a piece of heart, so Alaszun really didn't miss much by forgetting that he could check Sick Kid when he first found him. Oh, and we see a Paradox Cave entrance. So that is going to be 7 items.
Apologies for the silence on my part. I was just scrolling through the MSU pack that Alaszun's using, which is the Danganronpa MSU pack. I was trying to figure out what some of the selections that was chosen for that one, just out of my own sick curiosity.
And we get a Turtle Rock Small, the map of desert, piece of heart, the big key to desert, and 20 rupees. And Waterleau's early dip for that first chest of Aga Tower yields the big key to Eastern. So if we find Eastern Palace with that bow, that could be a pretty much full clear. Not quite in logic without a lamp, but I don't think they'll really care about that. And we get a connector into the desert area. We also get a connector coming out of a Bonk Rocks in the Dark World. So that's not good, and can't even get back into that, and still has another connector of Hyrule Castle unchecked. And we find another multi-item spot, Mini Moldorm Cave. With the big key to Ice Palace. So, big keys have been not too sparse. We've already got all 3 Light World dungeons big keys, as well as one to Ice Palace. And these 5-item caves are fast and fierce. Here's Hype Cave with the Hype, Fire Rod, the Desert Small, the Moon Pearl, and a shield. And 3 bombs. But Hype Cave really hype. We can not quite full clear desert because we can't get an item out off the torch, but we can, if we find the front of desert, we can get at least a check on all 5 of the items there, and get to if we find the back, we can kill Lanmo. That's yeah, Fire Rod. We can get to Lanmo if we find it.
So I really like the early Moon Pearl at this point in the game, and I've seen Crosskeys where it could go like hours on end to more like probably around the hour mark, where the Moon Pearl does not show up until like a lot later. Alaszun now heading for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and I quickly checked what the TR entrance was, but I didn't see it. Oh, our tracker did catch it. It was Quake, which is the medallion that they already have. So, but you still need the mitts and hammer to get to that entrance, no matter what. And Alaszun, is heading for the lava chest, gets a Bombos medallion.
Turtle paying out with 2 medallions so far.
Yep. And just the 50 rupees there. But yeah, with that Moon Pearl, we have seen connectors to South Dark World and to Dark Death Mountain. So that opens up quite a bit more. Oh, and we have found Eastern Palace, which is a completable dungeon.
Yeah, of course but amongst the 2 runners that we could logically get to it, but well, in normal gameplay, yeah, it could be logically, but saying that this is Crosskeys and we got our Eastern Palace big key relatively early.
Yeah, it's so again, I think I heard somewhere that Crosskeys is still on like version 29 or 30 logic, so that Fire Rod doesn't actually mean that the boss is in logic yet, but again, they don't really care that much about logic anyway, and we are seeing some of those Dark Worlds checks. Finds a fairy, just going to refill health there. Don't blame him at all. Even with blue mail, 5 hearts in the Dark World is not the most comfortable situation. That those hearts can go down pretty quickly.
Yeah, having 5 hearts in the Dark World in any situation, regardless of mail.
There's that back of Desert Palace. So we're going to see some dungeon completion on both runners' screens.
At least with Desert, it's actually very comfy to clear this dungeon, even with 5 hearts. But yeah, pretty much going through Dark World with 5 hearts, unless you're on red mail, it is very it's very scary.
Yeah, I mean, if 5 hearts is what you'd have in Desert in vanilla, right?
Yeah, because you would have got the Sank heart, and then you would got the
heart from Eastern Palace. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 5 hearts, and that would be without the blue mail. So this should be a piece of cake. And with that fire rod, Lenmolus shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. And Bo would makes for a good backup. Getting the Hera compass and a Turtle Rock compass over on Alaszun's side, and the first crystal of the match. And Waterleau is in the dark, is firing arrows to try to figure out where he is and also get some enemies out of the way. And yeah, he seems to want to try to take... Oh, that's right. I forgot. He's still in the dungeon, so he knows exactly where he is. Now, speaking of dungeons, we found Thieves Town. It has our first Aga Tower key. going to need both of those today because Ganon is at the lumberjack drop-down. We find the mirror. It's
Always nice. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
All right. My sorry, apologies. Yeah, finding that mirror is really nice early on in Thieves Town because if you're going to leave just for the first 4 checks, you can just easily mirror out and don't have to worry about death warping.
Yep, and we've got our other boomerang. And 10 arrows finishes it. He does mirror because no big key yet. Has a small key, but... And yeah, with the mirror and moon pearl, for the moment, that's an early advantage for Alaszun. Finding another connector, and we've got an Armos Knights fight on Waterleau's side. Just giving some bombs, but it is also a crystal dungeon. And we have found Palace of Darkness. So we are rapidly finding all of the dungeons. Between these runners, I believe the only things we're still missing are Misery Mire, Tower of Hera, and Ganon's Tower.
There's a piece of heart in that bridge chest. Waterleau heading towards that eastern palace entrance.
Yeah, and just some fairies.
There's Sahasroa's hut. Green pendant is going to be on Thieves Town.
Thieves Town with the green pendant. And just in case you didn't talk to him, there's the map of Thieves Town in the back.
This oddly reminds me of the version 30 hint system.
Yeah. And we see that Sewer's key found. And Chicken Hut has moved into the Dark World. Yeah, getting those Village of Outcasts. Yes. And there's Waterleau in his hype cave. Getting that Moon Pearl and Fire Rod and Desert Small. We have not yet seen the front half of Desert Palace, but we've found the back half. There's Hookshot Cave, but with no boots or hookshot, he can't get any of the chests, and he doesn't want to look at the connector at the moment. And does jump down to South Dark World. And is going to mirror check this entrance. It doesn't seem to be anything.
Alaszun going to start up the dig game. 3 digs for a big key, which leads to the Palace of Darkness.
Darkness. Yeah, and he's heading back into Lightworld's Kakariko, has remembered that he has a bottle, and picks up that piece of heart. And let's see if this is with that single castle tower small key. Is he going to head and pick up both chests? No, this is Hyrule Castle. Yes, he has not gone into there, and with that sewers key, he knows that all of this is in logic now. So that does seem like a good play, though if I remember correctly, there wasn't really any value in here.
There wasn't.
But he also has the mirror, so he won't have to death warp to get back out of there quickly. And we'll probably check those other entrances. Yes, I believe it was T-Stew that won last night. It was whichever one had lost game 1, because there is a game 3, it is tonight.
Waterloo setting up for some fake flippers.
And he does get it.
Alaszun gonna head toward the back towards Darkcross.
Yeah, with that fire rod makes it a bit easier. Hobo not providing the goods.
And
yep,
go ahead.
Just a Swamp Palace compass. So Dark Cross play not paying off. And Alaszun is heading back towards his portal. Oh, and we find Blind's hut in the waterfall. So this is out of logic, but I think that's the last of our 5-item caves. Well, we haven't actually been able to get to the well yet, because it's blocked by either a second glove or the hammer.
There's a fire shield along with the Book of Medora.
Yeah. And at the moment, Book of Medora is, well, it's another entrance because we haven't found a connector into the mire area, so this is our first access to Desert's entrance. Haven't been able to get to either of the tablets just yet, and still a couple of swords short of actually being able to get those items if we found our way to them. And it looked like that was a small key on Zora's Ledge.
I can confirm that was a small key.
Yep, so we'll see if he's able to get the splash delete to get there. We find that front half of Desert Palace. This is 4 items obtainable and 1 item checkable on the torch. And what does Scamfish have? It's a small key to Turtle Rock. That's more of a scam than it would be in regular Key Sanity, but maybe still useful. Oh, and we the first GT small.
Waterloo did pull off that splashly successfully. They're going to get that small key, which leads to Skull Woods.
Yeah, not exactly what you want to see. Another GT small. That's 2 GT smalls in Desert Palace so far.
And there's the silver arrowed bow.
Yeah, that's very valuable. That's and speaking of valuable, that's a lot of money. But
it's always, I was gonna say it's always nice to get silver arrows in any situation, as we find mini Moldorm Cave off of Waterloo's side.
Yeah, I think this had some value in it. We did see this on Alaszun's side, and yep, there is that. That was just the Ice Palace big. So that's one extra chest available when you go in there, and it also is good for peace of mind that you're not breaking logic. And we do get confirmation with the map check that Hera is also a crystal, so we are still searching for that entrance. No, we're not. Alaszun just found it.
Commentator's blessing for sure. Alaszun gonna head to the back towards the basement of Hera.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, you've got the key, you've got the fire rod. Might as well find that early. And ooh, yes, that is a good point. Can't quite finish out Hera yet, unless we happen to find a sword or the hammer on the way up.
Waterloo gonna look at the Desert Palace entrance, which is the other half. Or I think we did see this previously, right?
Yeah, the item's already gone, so he has obviously been through there, but he's going to just take that connector, and yeah, Alaszun is not going to take a peek at those 2 items upstairs, at least not until he sees this. And yeah, that's the cave that we were just seeing on Waterloo's side. And it looks like he's just taking this connector. Meanwhile, Waterloo is going into Ice Palace.
Thought that Samaria, we can't obviously do Icebreaker, so we'll have to go through the normal, original way.
And yeah, we're going to get the floating island check. It's just 20 rupees. We'll pick that up anyway. And we see that that was another entrance to desert. And we're going to get some get to see what's in Tower of Hera entrance. It is Spiral Cave, so that's a one-way connector. He wants to walk around this area instead. Yeah, you can get back up there. And finding the big bomb shop, not talking to the guy up, going back in, remembers I should talk it. It's Meyer and T-Rock. So that's Meyer is the one dungeon other than GT that we haven't seen yet.
And the top of Spec Rock has the Misery Mire small key.
Yep. And he's going to continue searching these Dark World areas. Yep, there's Waterloo's discovery of the front of desert. He doesn't want to check out those items just yet. He wants to keep looking around. Finds another desert entrance. Still not really interested in checking out those items. And instead he's into the Tower of Hera.
Oh, yes, I'm now going to look at the old man here, which is just 20 rupees.
Yep. And Waterloo has not picked up that Hera basement key, so he will just head up the tower. Alaszun finding another Meyer Small.
Waterloo was actually refilling the pots there to get the other beetle there, and there's the Ether Medallion from off the chess game.
Yep, so all 3 medallions obtained. Not really as big a deal in Crosskeys, unless you just happen to get something useful at one of those. We get another bottle in the chest in on the tower ascent, and now we just have to see what's in this big chest. Will it be a weapon that can beat Moldworm? It will not. It is a Turtle Rock small key. And without the mirror, Waterloo is just going to go back down that way. Oh, is he...
I don't know if he's stuck or not.
There.
I love that. Was really clever for Waterloo. Actually, moving the screen down so that the switch could spawn on the screen, because the switch is actually a sprite, not a tile.
Yep. And Alaszun turning in his mushroom, and it's going to go through the back half of Old Man Cave. Waterloo is going to check Desert Palace. We'll pick up those silver arrows and the 2 GT small keys. And looks like it leads over to Dark Shopping Mall, and we get a piece of heart from C-shaped house. And just a fortune teller over in that entrance.
Alaszun going to do a fake flipper to get over to this whirlpool.
Yeah. And that'll dump him out right near Catfish. Which is a check he can make. There's also one other entrance right here. And it is Waterfall Ferry with the Ice Rod and a map of Dark Palace. And green potion from the bottle turn in there.
Nice pickup from Alaszun.
Yeah, that Ice Rod can be a troll at times, and we know Turtle Rock is required.
Yeah, you don't like to go on ice rod hunts like on every single seed. It's the most disheartening and annoying items to find during your hunt. There's the powder.
Yeah, that means that turn-in of the mushroom was not really a problem. And Alaszun having some trouble with this splash delete.
It took me a while to figure out what Alaszun was doing there, but caught on to that, and there's that splash delay.
Yeah, so you will get his items out of Blind's house.
Alaszun going to use the mirror to delete the blocks, make it a little quicker. Not super quick, but it's like, I guess, like by frames quicker. And Alaszun is going to head over towards that Zora area. Gonna find that small key that pretty much not really necessary for, because it's a Turtle Rock small key.
Yep. And Waterloo has made his way into pods, still with just the one small key, and no hammer will not be able to get to the back of the dungeon because that first key will be needed for the front door if he wants to go through that. Yeah, and he will use that key, get the chest, the drop-down chest, and the bridge chest, and then head over to the bow-locked side. There will be swords in this seed eventually.
Yeah, we have not found a single sword as we're approaching the 55-minute mark.
Yeah. Just a map on the pyramid ledge. Eastern Palace, and we have found I think all of the big item caves there. So they're probably just in either in dungeons or in kind of isolated locations with only one or two items. And Alaszun gets makes the map check. He now knows that all three of the... Oh, there's one of those swords. It's up on top of the tower in Waterfall, or in Pyramid Fairy Cave. We find our final T-Rock entrance. Along with the shop, Alaszun will refill on bombs.
So Alaszun is now going to turn on that magic bat with that powder in hand.
Yeah, good call. And Waterloo is in Thieves Town. We'll get that all-important mirror. What does Magic Bat have? The map of Misery Mire, which Alaszun already knows is a crystal, and a 5/6 crystal at that.
Yeah, and that was thanks to in part with that bomb shop location that Alaszun had found.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that is a good point. We do not have logical access to the pod area, which is, and without any, with the only connector being up to the top of the tower being T-Rock, no Cane of Samaria means that sword isn't in logic until we get either the cane to allow us through T-Rock, or the flippers, or hammer, or a lamp and the second castle tower key.
Oh, that's
no,
a big find.
that
Hammer.
Yeah. That is still not in logic because this entire... Unless there was a connector over here that I just missed. Waterleau is taking down Lanmolus. Picking up a second crystal. And we found the potion shop. It just had the compass of Ganon's Tower, which we may end up never needing because we still haven't seen where GT is. And we've found most of what we... wouldn't necessarily say most of what we need to complete this seed, but we found most of the dungeons. There are still some items and keys that we need though, so GT could very well have progression. And we're getting the Graveyard Lich check. I don't think Alaszun did this, and it is the bomb refill hut from Kakariko. We'll pick up some bombs here. Alaszun getting the Thieves Town news. Also, seriously, vanilla location on Sahasrara's hut.
Yeah, I picked up on that when Waterloo did it first.
I missed that. That is silly. And
Yeah, I thought it looked like it was vanilla until like Alaszun started to check that first, and it pretty much confirmed my suspicion that it was vanilla.
Yep, and Kiki, the scam monkey with the scam. And Waterloo is giving us our first check of the front of Skull Woods. While Alaszun is going through a connector, I think that should lead him to Death Mountain.
Alaszun was attempting to do the bomb jump over Spec Rock. It was a little too far to the right there.
Yeah, but yes, this is... And we get news that Pod is a pendant.
So at this point, our final pendant has to be in one of two spots: Swamp Palace, Skull Woods, or Ice Palace.
Yeah, and we're going to get some of that information because with a hammer and a fire rod, and for that matter a bomb boost medallion to make it a little bit easier on that magic meter, Alaszun is probably going to clear this this dungeon right here and now. And we get the PID check, just a piece of heart. And a full heart in the first chest of Ice Palace. We cannot, with no Cane of Samaria, cannot do Icebreaker. Going to have to do it the regular way with a bomb jump.
Yeah, given the way that Icebreaker has changed the way that Ice Palace is made, has pretty much made this dungeon from being quite an annoying dungeon to, well, not as annoying, but still rather annoying. That doesn't mean that if you're going into Ice Palace without Samaria, you still gotta keep in mind that Ice Palace bomb jump is a very important skill to learn.
Yeah, unless you happen to come in with both keys and the big key and can just do it the developer intended way.
Perfect bomb jump from Alaszun.
And of course that's what makes this game so silly. Even the so-called developer intended way can easily be subverted simply by going to Misery Mire first. And picking that up, we don't have a hook shot yet. But if Swamp ends up being that last pendant, we may not need a hook shot. But yeah, it still doesn't feel great. Over an hour in, no boots, no hook shot, no flute. Just kind of have to walk everywhere. At least you've got that mirror so that your connectors into the dark world can
Alaszun now going to head for the Freezor room.
Getting a map of T-Rock, not going to help. Was about to do a bomb jump, then remembered, oh yeah, I have the big key. Let's get this chest. With a piece of heart that refills. Ganon is at the Lumberjack cave, so Aga 1 will be required, but Aga 2 probably not. I don't quite remember what which drop down we're missing.
Uncle.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it might be Uncle, so Aga 2 is just blocking 2 items. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're missing. We also need a another castle tower key and the boots before we can reach go mode. Because the Lumberjack ledge is 100% required to complete this seed. Waterleau is now going to go for that basement item. Still does not have the sword or hammer, but then again, we know they're kind of not yet in logic. We need what? We'd need either to already have a sword and get the lamp and the other castle tower key, or we need the flippers, or the... what was the other? Well, no, we know the hammer's over there, so the hammer to get to East Dark World isn't in the cards there.
Alaszun making a pit stop over into the switch room where the developer intended route is.
Yeah. And we're heading into the Cold Stare fight. And he has his Bombos medallion out. Going to melt the ice quickly. Still have 3 cores of magic meter to take down cold stare. And I believe he was the one that picked up the green potion. Yeah, he is using it. That is good. Good strategy. Got cold stare down. Just 20 rupees, but that is a crystal. So now we're down to Skull Woods or Swamp Palace for our last crystal and pendant. And we
So Alaszun now going to look at this entrance on Death Mountain. Just a shop. Going to refill on bombs though.
and we're not going to see the exploration of Bumper Cave there. But waterleau will take a look around, and he has the book. I believe Alaszun didn't have that yet when he was up in this area, so we don't know what's on Ether Tablet. Can't get it either way, because we still need 2 swords for that, and Alaszun only has 1, Waterleau doesn't have any. Now you can find Helmasaur King, so that's a compass to Podge, correct? Yeah, so don't really need that, just a compass. The compasses are not terribly useful. Waterleau getting his information that our final 2 dungeons in the intended order are our 2, 5, 6 crystals. And we find that Bombo's tablet is equally useless. Just couch cash, move along. We're an hour 11 in and no Titan's mitts after we found our first glove in basically the first minute of the race.
Yeah, so at this point, I don't even know where it could possibly show up.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, I'm pretty sure, unless there was a connector I forgot about, I'm pretty sure that that sword and hammer that Alaszun has are out of logic. Oh yes, Cane of Samaria would actually also maybe put. No, I don't remember how key or entrance rando Turtle Rock key logic works. You might need all the small keys in order to logically be able to get to the entrance when coming in through another door, because if we had Cane of Samaria, that would still put the hammer out of logic, but it would put that sword in logic, because it would, getting to the front of TR that way would put him right on top of the tower, and then he just walks over and grabs that sword from the right side entrance. But we will get to see what Moldworm has for us. And Waterloo is going to take Spiral Cave. That is a location that we haven't seen. We saw this top entrance before, but we have not seen it followed through to its completion.
Oh, there we go. We got boots.
Boots on Moldworm and just some bombs, and oh, Alaszun did do Spiral Cave. I missed it, and I guess we must have already seen the bottom, because Waterloo just save and quit right away. Didn't go out that door.
Yeah, I've never seen Alaszun picking up Spiral earlier. So that is the boots checks now open.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Stone Logic. I mean, I'm sure by now one of them must have checked it, but I can't remember seeing anyone actually go out the left side of Hyrule Castle. We saw them first find it from the right side and exit the center and get stuck in here. No, actually, I think I do remember Alaszun coming in through the left when he went for Dark Cross. No, that was. Oh, yeah, that's okay. So the hammer is in logic. That is the first time we've seen that, and that leads you out of the pyramid. There you go. I was thinking we saw every connector over there, but yeah, that hammer is in logic. You have to just walk out of the cracked wall in the pyramid.
Yeah, and we still don't know where Meyer is. We do know where Turtle Rock is, but we don't have Samaria. It's a clear Turtle Rock, and again, we don't know where Meyer is. That's still at large, and we still need Kane for that as well.
Yeah, but with logic restored, we now have a bunch of new locations to check because it means that we do have those boots in logic. And Alaszun finds that you needed a hammer just to get into Mimic Cave today, so you're definitely not going to have to worry about going back to that. We've got a flute that doesn't really open anything at the moment because we don't have mitts, and we already have connectors that let us get to West Death Mountain. But it's a nice item to find.
I will always take fast travel in this situation over anything else. So we're now going to see that.
Yeah, with that hammer we get. Oh, there's those mitts.
Speaking of.
Yeah. So now this seed is wide open, pretty much. And there's the big key to Meyer when we do find it. So that well is big, and this really is, until Waterleau remembers that he has never gone out the left side of Hyrule Castle, this looks like a fairly nice sized lead for Alaszun.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting the advantage over on Alaszun at this point, knowing that Alaszun went over to that left side. There's the Can of Samaria.
Yeah, this is we still definitely need the big key to TR. We need to find Meyer, and we need another Castle Tower small. And Alaszun also still has not found that big key to Eastern. Waterloo got that a while ago. But if Swamp is our third pendant, we wouldn't need that Swamp Small or that Hookshot, which are still very much required if Skull is the pendant. Yes, also the flips. The flippers would also be required if we need Swamp. So so basically, Skull being the third, or pendant basically doubles the amount of things we need for go mode, as opposed to swamp being a pendant. And it looks like waterleau is going to try to use a... Oh, I'm being told that I'm kind of breaking up.
Yeah, so we did see the smiths. It was only a compass. We did see hammer pegs, and turned out to be equally as useless. Alaszun going to activate the flute now at 119.16.
Yep. Yep, I'm probably going to use that immediately to check out what's in that purple chest. Flute to 7. And waterleau is in his out of logic trip over to the pod area. We know it is in logic via connector, but this is going to get him basically everything he needs to continue on with this seed. We're going to get our first checks at the mire area. And left side mire shed is just a ferry. Desert ledge with some bombs. Desert left has the curiosity shop. Desert back is nothing. Yeah, who knows? We haven't found GT yet.
Alaszun now going to the checkerboard cave.
Yep. Oh, and
Mire shed.
Mire shed. That's 2 more items. Meanwhile, waterleau is about to get his sword.
There's Hotel Mario.
Yep. And all that's left is to check that vanilla entrance. It is Bombos today, but he has all 3 medallions, so there was no chance that he was going to miss out on that. Basically, it just comes down to the fact that he made the play over to the pod area a lot earlier, and the sword and the hammer were over there. And that really basically unlocked the seed, because boots are on Moldorm, which needs one or the other of those items to defeat. The mitts were hammer locked. The Cane of Samaria was boots locked, and so yeah, it was. And the both of them got to the pod area by using a fake flipper. The logical access was to take a connector that leads you out of the big bomb area in the pyramid. So basically a one-way connector for all intents and purposes.
Spike cave coming up empty.
Yeah.
Only 10 arrows.
Yes, Jake Coper in chat points out the other reason Alaszun has a lead is he found the pearl quite a bit quicker, and the mirror, which don't remember if that actually... I don't remember where Thieves Town was, if you actually needed that pearl, but he found the pearl and mirror before Waterloo had either of those, and in Crosskeys, pearl and mirror are two of the most important items. So,
Part of me,
always possible to get a seed where you don't need either.
thinks that Thieves Town wasn't Kakariko, but I can't remember.
I don't think it was. It wasn't that early a find. Waterloo picking up the hammer.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was that early too. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean it was fairly early, but it wasn't like.
We did see a lot of dungeons in Kakariko, that's for sure.
Yeah, Swamp Palace was there, and... Oh yes, Thieves Town was at Dark Lumberjack, or no, not the one right by Lumberjack, the other house a little bit further south than that. But yeah, in, I guess like Central West Dark World, like a little bit east of Village of Outcasts. Yeah, that like isolated house a bit further east. Curiosity Shop. Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with the vanilla game, but yeah. And Waterloo turning in his Scam Monkey. We have not seen Misery Mire just yet. That is the one thing that we still need. I wonder if with the mitts and hammer, if this play is a check on the vanilla TR entrance.
And you also gotta consider too that we don't know what our final pendant is, or our final crystal is, for that fact as well, because we still need to find flippers for Swamp, and we could also clear Skull Woods.
Yeah, Skull Woods we could clear. You just have to steal a key from the front half, because they have not... Well, Waterloo apparently has found one of the... Yes, I do remember Waterloo finding a Skull Woods key, but apparently Alaszun has not found any of them. So he'd need to get to the front first in order to steal a key, because you do need one key. We find GT in Turtle Rock, and with a cane, a fire rod, he can go full right. Can go on the left side with a bomb jump. It would be out of logic, and actually with only 2 smalls, a lot of this place is not really in logic yet, but usually you assume that you'll find the other small keys you need.
Alaszun gonna look at the tile room here.
Yeah, well, that is in logic. That is 100% in logic, so it's definitely a good check. And it's a pod small, and those have been kind of sparse this seed, though with pod being a pendant, you're not necessarily as surprised if you don't see them as quickly.
Waterloo knocks down Mofula, another pod spunky, and there's the final crystal.
So we do not need to find those flippers, or that swamp small, or that hookshot, unless something else we need for go mode is blocked by one of those things.
One thing that comes to mind immediately is Moldarm 2 chests here in GT.
Yeah, that can sometimes have something important. And that does hard require that hookshot. Well, we're not in no mode because the items for go mode, we still don't know where they are. We still need a big key to Turtle Rock. We need a castle tower small key. Logically, we also need that lamp to get to the top of Castle Tower. There's another pod small. And yeah, we also need... What else do we need? I guess, yeah, it's really just that... and we need to find where Mire is, because we have not seen the entrance to Misery Mire.
Waterloo got the flute activated.
Yep. And we'll be picking up those mitts in the hammerlocked area. So yeah, that is hard requirement to use the hammer for that, because mitts, the accessing it through the Dark World requires the mitts, unless you happen to find a connector that dumps you out of hammer pegs. But I believe Alaszun checked hammer pegs and it was not a connector.
Alaszun now to the random room.
There's another TR small, the second Ice Palace small, and 50 rupees. Not really worth, and he still has to complete it. The dip all the way over towards the Ice Armos. We've not seen that big key that would allow him to open the big chest. And that's Swamp Small.
Although it isn't really necessary for this seed, as we do know that our final pendant is going to be on Swamp.
Yeah, and not to mention, it doesn't really do us any good without flippers. But there's, something else we forgot, and there's a big key to Thieves Town, but that's a pendant, so we don't necessarily need that. So yeah, there were a bunch of things in Gen's Tower, but we might not need any of them. We don't really need that fourth TR small. I mean, logically you need it, but... And we found a bunch of stuff to get into pendant dungeons. We did find that Master Sword, but I'm sure there's got to be another sword around here somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure Alaszun does not want to do Master Sword Ganon, but considering you got silvers, it only really takes 28 spins to get into phase 4 to put the last 4 arrows into Ganon.
Yeah, I'd much rather do Master Sword silvers than any silverless, but that's just because I'm not that practiced. And I believe this is Alaszun's first check into where Bumper Cave goes. I think we've already seen that on Waterleau's side.
We have.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Alaszun might already know that also. He seemed to have quite the purpose there. This is Danganronpa music.
Yeah, this is actually Alaszun's interpretation of the Danganronpa MSU pack. I made the assumption. I've made the incorrect statement that it was actually Zelda-san's one, but this one's a little different to his pack compared to Alaszun's. That is a different pack compared to Alaszun's.
Yep, and Alaszun going back through Bumper Cave. And for all of the Alaszun being seemingly ahead this whole time, there is one little thing that Waterleau has had from like very early on. Actually, it was his first dungeon clear that Alaszun still can't do, and that is that big key to Eastern Palace. And I cannot. It was so long ago, I cannot remember where Waterleau got that Alaszun just missed it.
Yeah, I missed it too, but I remember this is something that Alaszun has to find in order to get to.
Yes. Our restreamer reminds me. It was Alaszun did not dip into Aga Tower. Is probably waiting until he can just full clear it because he knows that he needs to clear it anyway. So even with that first key to get both chests, whereas Waterleau just dipped in right away to grab that first chest. That first chest of Aga Tower is that big key to Eastern. So if that second Castle Tower key is in a location that I guess for him putting it off, it would have to be like the second Castle Tower key is like in the Ganon's Tower entrance or something like that. But he has not shown any interest in double dipping Aga Tower. He's like, I saw it, I know I need it eventually, I'm going to wait until I can do it in one shot. And so he is missing out on that one big key. And hopefully that won't, or actually if you want a good match, hopefully that will allow Waterleau to get back into this race. And yeah, Waterleau is in T-Rock. Looks like doesn't have that Cane of Samaria yet though, so cannot go all the way back. They found Aga Tower very early and really didn't have like any sort of weaponry or anything to deal with it. Actually, now that I think about it, how did Waterleau manage to get through that first combat room? Bow, maybe? I know they got bow pretty early. Maybe. Yeah, I think that must have been how he got through that room. They didn't have that
There's
much.
Meyer.
Meyer, yeah. Where was that?
That was. I just missed it. It was on the Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, Bonkrock. So, that is a boots-locked location. So Waterloo won't be able to get to that until he goes to Tower of Hera. And yes, our chat's reminding us we did also have an early boomerang to help stun those guards. So, yeah, I guess Alaszun was like, no, it's not worth it to go in for this one chest, and still has just never really gone back for it. Because, and we get big key. Nope, that's Swamp Palace. That's not the big key we're looking for. We need the big key of Turtle Rock. So yeah, with Meyer located, we really just need that big key to TR, and I think we'd be in go mode, we'd be in no mode. And the second Aga Tower small.
Right, can't forget about that. There's still that second castle tower key still out in the open.
You don't know where the flippers are, but we may not need them because Swamp Palace is a pendant.
And there's half magic over on Alaszun's side. Always a nice quality of life item to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but between our runners, we have full pendant and crystal knowledge, but Waterloo still needs to find out that he is in a crystal dungeon, and Alaszun still needs to. Oh, yeah, that is flippers. So we have found those flippers in the big chest of Misery Mire. And now we have a third Ganon's Tower small, so that puts that Swamp Palace small in behind Ice Armos into logic.
Alaszun also found the mirror shield out of the lobby chest.
Yeah, Mirror Shield is not really much of a help, but
Shadow with the 20-month subscription to ZSR1.
Yeah, keys that are not in chests are always to their vanilla dungeons. I think there is like a setting that allows those things to be somewhat randomized, but I'm not even sure if that would allow it to actually be randomized out of their dungeon. They just can be in weird spots. But I don't think I've ever actually seen a real pot shuffle race. I've just heard that it's a thing that exists.
Yeah, and pot shuffle is not fun from what I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alaszun getting through the dark room of Mire, going to start the Vitreous fight. With those silver arrows, all of these eyeballs take one shot to take down, and the big eye just 2.
Yep, and we get a boss kill on Alaszun's side. It is our final GT small. So that is, well, the thing is, we've actually seen everything in GT that we can get to. It's now in logic, everything we saw in there. But without that big, we cannot explore those last few chests. And we do know that it is a 2-item location that's blocked by Aga 2. It is the uncle.
Alaszun getting the check over on the graveyard ledge, which Waterleau did pick up originally.
And listen, buying those upgrades. I've seen that a lot in this tournament, that when they find that fairy, they will pick up a set of upgrades. If their money is in a good position. Waterleau making this dip, going to find the disappointment in the Dark Cross, and then is probably going to go out the left side and realize, oh, that's how I was logically supposed to get this sword and hammer.
Alaszun is going to make the Skull Woods dive, the back of Skull Woods dive, and get to the Mobula fight. We'll get the information that that was the final crystal that is that Alaszun knows of, and knows that Swamp Palace is not necessary.
Yeah. Which, with the hookshot still at large. And yes, I mistakenly said that everything we saw in GT was in logic, but a bunch of the stuff on the left side still isn't without that hookshot. But the full right side play is in logic.
Alaszun knocking down Mobula with some Master Sword spins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gets a Dark Palace small. He's up to 4 of those, so that gets that. Puts some more of Dark Palace into logic. That puts, actually, technically, just at the turtle room, because we still, an hour and 47 in, have not found the lamp to put any sort of dark rooms in logic. Probably can't even remember if there are maybe certain things that we thought are in logic, and it's like, no, actually there was something that was lamp locked. But Alaszun is going to go up, get that key with those flippers. And I believe that was the Skullwoods key that Waterleau already had. So, meanwhile, Waterleau is heading up the Tower of Hera, will be picking up his boots soon, and that will allow him into Misery Mire. And Alaszun's probably with... oh, well, no, there's no big key, so... yeah, entrance rando logic is not all the way up to V31, so Fire Rod unlocking certain dark rooms is not a thing yet in entrance rando. And yeah, I was going to say that Alaszun might be going to T-Rock soon, and there are some chests that he hasn't seen yet in there, I'm sure, but it's less valuable because still no big key. Eastern Palace big key is in the first chest of Aga Tower, and they found Aga Tower really early, didn't have the best weapon situation. Waterleau decided to take advantage of the boomerang that they found to like stun enemies to beat them with the bombs, got to that first chest and found that EP big key. Alaszun has not gone back there since getting weaponry, probably is just waiting until he has both keys so that he can just do it in one shot, because we know that Aga 1 is required. Ganon is at the drop down at the lumberjack, so if the second CT small is elusive enough, it could give Waterloo some time to catch up, and we're still not sure where the big key to Turtle Rock is. That's something they both still need. And yes, Waterloo is in Misery Mire. Will pick up the flippers in here, but is not going to be able to complete it without that Cane of Samaria, which, as chat mentioned, was in the one chest in Hookshot Cave that is in logic with the boots, but no hookshot. 4 chest location. If you can hover, you can get to all 4 of them with the boots. Logically, 3 of them need the hook shot instead. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you go for it.
Waterloo got the half magic from off of Mire. Again, without the Cane of Samaria, Water cannot finish up this dungeon.
And looks like Alaszun is going to make the play for those fire-locked chests in TR. Also, is that the map chest? I don't remember my vanilla well enough. I just call it the first chest in T-Rock.
I just refer to it as left side. Yeah, it is the compass chest.
The compass, yeah.
I don't know my vanilla either. And there's actually a blue potion. That's our 3rd of our bottles now.
Yeah, bottle is nice. And Alaszun does remember no hookshot, have to take the long way. I've seen runners forget that they don't have a hookshot and end up going the short way and then having to redo it. Map of swamp and 20 rupees.
And at that point, for Alaszun, he doesn't really need that map of swamp. He is aware that swamp is a pendant.
Yeah. And let's see where he's headed now. Is this... he's... Oh, what's in here? That wasn't...
This was the laser bridge.
Laser bridge. Oh, yeah. So he's still... Yeah, it's a good point. I've already seen one seed where the big key of Turtle Rock was in Crystallola Room, and you had to come in through Laser Bridge and head back to it that direction. It is a possibility.
To the Crystallola Room we go here. And a hook shot's there, right on the music cue, man. That feels satisfying.
Yeah, that is definitely fun. And he's probably going to start checking hookshot locked locations. Oh yeah, that was the last PC required. We're going to see Pendant Swamp. Probably in its entirety, unless he can't really get go mode in here, but Eastern Palace Big is in Castle Tower, first chest. So if he finds the other Castle Tower, no, you can't go the vanilla way without the big key. So if big key is locked by hookshot, then we need the lamp for that. Now, as far as I can remember, we did get at least 3 out of the 4 GT Smalls without lamp. I think one of them was actually on Vidi, so that one is considered lamp locked. But if it could still be in the front half of this, because we were able to get the Swamp Palace Small with, I think, only 3 of the 4 keys. So lamp could still be up here.
Alaszun gonna go for the Samaria Diver Down over in the left side swamp area. Gets it without any issues.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there are definitely a lot of times that, I mean, you don't really want to pay attention to the logic until your go mode is actually an item rather than a key, and then you're like, wait, which items am I able to get to logically, and which of these are... where can this item I need not be, because I would have already needed it to get to some of these keys to get to it. We get another pod small. We're up to 5 there. And, yeah, Alaszun didn't go for compass chest until after left side. That's... I don't usually see that.
And there's our final bottle with a red potion inside of it.
Yeah, so I was going to say we've seen all 3 types of potion, but then I remembered, no, actually Alaszun got that potion by turning in a bottle to the fairy.
Alaszun doing the diver down. This time, there's the tempered sword from Swamp Palace flooded chest.
Yeah, that is a nice sword upgrade.
And this is great too, as we're coming up to the Argus fight. Not just because we don't have to worry about doing master sword spins and poking 2 puffballs at a time, but and we can just clear through them without a problem. But also, Ganon now becomes a cakewalk.
Yeah. It's not quite going to. Yeah. What we probably will be getting his. Oh well, no, actually, yeah. Well, he need to bomb jump because he still hasn't picked up his Cane of Samaria, so he can only go left side. And would have to bomb jump to be able to get there without a hook shot. And Alaszun does finish up Swamp Palace, not picking up anything there. Did upgrade his sword, did give him the last bottle, but yeah, and yeah, with 5 pod keys, I think maybe he's going to head to pod next, because if you do hammer jump, you can full clear it with only 5, even having opened the front door when dipping in early with just 1 key.
Alay's going to look at this very hidden house here, which is where the Thieves Town location is at.
Back into Thieves Town, he is thinking that pendant dungeons may be the answer. And Thieves Town already did the front 4, had the big mirror. Going to take care of these back 4 checks, and as a result will also be able to pick up the green pendant, which turns in at a vanilla placed Sahasrara.
And we know that the pedestal is just a piece of heart, so we don't have to worry about pulling the pedestal for this seed.
Yep, and so far we're just missing a TR big and a CT small. EP big is in Castle Tower. Alaszun will, as soon as he gets that second CT small, he's probably going to go there because he knows he needs to do Aga 1 anyway.
GT big key for Alaszun up in the attic.
That opens up 5 more checks. The big chest, and 4 up the tower, and yes, then 2 more at Uncle. So that could be his next location if these last few checks in Thieves Town do not provide him with any answers. Yeah, they found Aga Tower super early. They weren't really kitted out with a way to make it easy to even get that first chest. Waterleau did it anyway, was rewarded with a big key. Actually ended up clearing Eastern as his very first dungeon.
Alaszun found a map for Skull Woods. Again, doesn't need that information anymore, considering that we know where our pendants and crystals are, as Alaszun's going to start the blind fight.
No, there are 2 more matches later today. There's the schedule posted in the chat. We're hoping to get a restream for at least one of tonight's matches, possibly both if we can get enough coverage.
Alaszun knocks down blind. There is a small key for Skull Woods.
Skull Woods. Green pendant is 1 more check. I don't know if he's going to prioritize going to that. It's not that far from fluting to 5, but well, he's in the Dark World right now. He is mirroring. I think he's going to turn that in right away.
Yeah, this is the turn in. So, Sahasrella's green pendant has for us a piece of heart.
So, back up the tower? Yeah, there is also Pod. Yes, they have checked pedestal. It is a piece of heart. And let's see, this location is... I don't know which connector he's planning to take, or is... Actually, I think Pod was right in this area, so this might be the Pod play.
This is the desert play.
That's the front of desert. Oh, was there something useful on that torch? I didn't even really see what was there. If there was a key there, no, he's just using that as a connector.
The torch happened to be a bloopy from our restreamer.
Yeah, okay, and Waterleau has picked up his Cane of Samaria, is going back into Misery Mire to finish off Vitreous. So this was the GT play. He's going to make the left side dip is, yeah, I guess left side is quicker. I mean, I never really thought about if you're just dipping back in for the big chest, which way is actually quicker to go.
And we did see these checks previously, and it looks like Alaszun, his only reason for going here is just to check the big chest.
Yeah, you just want to be thorough, since when you make the climb, you're going to probably take it all the way to Aga 2 so that you can get those checks at Uncle. In fact, we know that he is going to, because he cannot possibly actually get into go mode here, because we know that one of his go mode items is in Aga Tower.
100 rupees out of the big chest. We are climbing now.
So, we're going to see 4 chests near the top of the tower, followed by an Aga 2 battle, and 2 more checks in the uncle. Waterleau finishes off Vitreous and actually technically has the 6-5 crystal lead. But there's it might be a little bit before he makes the necessary play, because he does not yet have that hook shot, and the hook shot led to the GT Big. Is that actually, I don't remember which part of Swamp Palace that was actually in, and actually, yeah, it looks like, did he not make it all the way to the end of that run there? He doesn't have his swamp small, so
It's been a while since this was made, so I couldn't be entirely sure about that.
yeah. So yeah, Waterloo is heading back to Yen's tower, probably going to do the right side play. We'll be able to pick up his Swamp Palace small that will lead to, at least in the general direction of that GT Big, which we think is probably required.
Alaszun getting through the first torch room, gonna stop to get a magic refill. Wait it out for the jingle to not despawn the rest of GT. Alright, the final 4 checks up on GT. There's a map for Ganon's Tower, completely useless. A piece of heart. Pre-Moldorm 2 chest. Having the lamp.
Yeah, there's that elusive lamp. So that pretty much takes care of any, is this in logic? The answer is yeah, if he can get to it, it's pretty much in logic.
And the last of the items too on Shovel Moldorm 2 chest. The X-Spot is now open.
Oh, yes, that is a good point. Until we find that TR big key, as far as we know, Hookshot was lamp locked.
Well, he's making the most out of that powder. It'll be a 2-1-2-1 from Alaszun.
Down goes Agatu. Was this part required? There's that Swamp Palace small for Waterloo, but it could kind of be a red herring. I think we decided that Swamp was pretty much a bust, except for a sword upgrade, and there was a pod small in there. Oh, nope, that's the last pod small. For a second there I was like, was that our castle tower key? It is not. And a heart container. So that is our final pod small, that would definitely point him towards going to pod. And he's going to check the dig spot first, but after that, I think we are going to see a full clear of pod.
Our desert, or not desert, the dig spot, just 10 arrows. Now
Yeah.
to get a pod.
Yeah.
And leaving a bomb there just to show that really that top of GT did not really lead to anything that could be useful.
Yeah. And Waterloo is heading into Thieves Town. That is where we found the GT Big, so he may be making that climb before long as well. Both of these runners dipped into pod with only one small and no hammer, so they were only able to get those first 5 chests. The first chest, the 2 on the bowlock side, and the drop down and bridge chest. I believe he did do the rest of Hookshot Cave.
There's the second castle tower, Smokey.
There it is. There it is. And he is immediately leaving. Probably not a bad play, since Aga Tower is like just a mirror away. No? Okay, I guess he hasn't checked the rest of Hookshot Cave. Finds the
sword.
sword, a compass, and a red rupee. But yeah, I think since he knows that, well, actually, if he does Aga Tower right now, it's going to drop him all the way over in the pod area. But I think either way, he's like, I need to do Aga Tower, I don't necessarily need to do pod. And he will find his EP big key right here. Well, no, was 2 items away from go mode. Now just 1 away.
Right, the TR Big is still there.
Yeah, and that is the one thing that well, I was going to say that both these runners are missing. Waterloo is also still missing that CT small. And hopefully not having the hook shot means he'll go into pod a little bit earlier.
If I have to take a guess as to where that Turtle Rock Big might show up, my hunch is going to be it has to be back in pod, and Alaszun had mirrored over there knowing that the Castle Tower key got the Castle Tower key and just going for that Aga dive right now.
Yeah, it's definitely the seems like the most likely location would be in pod, because we're starting to run out of other places for it to be. I mean, we've even I was about to say we've even seen what Pyramid Fairy is because it was a connector, but TR is one of our 5-6 crystals anyway, so.
So Alaszun starts the Aga 1 fight. We already got some blue ball guesses in the chat right now. We pretty much have seen everything to its completion.
Yeah, this could be a very high completion rate seed if it does end up being all the way on Helmasaur.
Yeah, we did find the gold sword. We found our mirror shield. We found all four bottles. We found every
Red
Y
mail,
item.
half
mail.
magic, silvers, both boomerangs. Looks like between our runners, we're only missing 2 small keys, one out of Skullwoods, one out of Misery Mire, which are probably some of the least useful small keys in the game. Waterleau is heading into Pod. Will he mirror immediately after getting that CT small? Or will he make the check all the way? Yeah, and he only has 4 smalls. Oh, he's mirroring as well. Oh, but no, just to make it faster, he's not leaving. Alaszun is going into Eastern Palace.
This will give Alaszun at least the ability to clear Armos.
Yeah, this is a crystal dungeon. Alaszun absolutely needs to do that. Waterleau does know that these chests are in logic. Well, actually, he doesn't know that these 2 are. Because he hasn't found that lamp. And nope, that's Skullwoods. That's Skullwoods. I completely missed that in the keys that we hadn't found yet. I thought we had found our answer, but no, that is. So there was one other seed I called recently where the last thing they were looking for was the big key to TR, and someone found Laser Bridge, and it was a big key, and it was Skullwoods, but that had our answer. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the ice rod that was being searched for, or no, it was a big key. I don't think it was TR's, but yeah, there was a big key on Laser Bridge, and it was Skullwoods, but it had what we really needed.
Waterleau pulling off a hammer jump there, finding only just 3 bombs at the big chest. It's now starting to become possible that Skullwoods' big chest may be necessary for this end of the game here.
Yeah, it's either Skullwoods. I mean, there are probably a few other locations, but we got Skullwoods Big. We've got Helmasaur, which Waterleau will not be able to reach. Oh, he did have another chest that he had missed, but yeah, he needs one more small key, even with Hammer Jump, to be able to clear that out. One of them was in Swamp. The other, I believe, was at Uncle. So if Waterleau does make the climb, but he's heading into the front of Skullwoods. That's oh yeah, because he just got that big key, of course. And there it is. And yeah, that is that's go mode, right? He has the second CT small. Yeah, that's right, because that was in pods. So Waterleau is in go mode. And with all those small keys, this is going to definitely be it's going to be tough for Alaszun to come back, because he is probably going to take this dive all the way to Helmasaur.
I just missed it.
It was Skullwood's big.
Yeah, it was gonna come down to that position anyway. The only thing that Alaszun has over Waterleau is sword advantage.
Yes, that is true. He does have a rather sizable sword advantage because, I believe, were they both hookshot locked, or was the tempered sword in the front half? I don't remember where he got his tempered. I know Butter was in Hookshot Cave, and I thought this other one was in Swamp, but I forget what part of Swamp. Oh,
Alaszun is dipping out a pod.
Not heading all the way to... well, I mean, the math says that it's probably faster to just check this big chest than to go all the way to Helma. And if it's wrong, he can still get back to Helma without much more time loss.
And this also helps with the sword advantage here. Alaszun will now enter go mode as Waterleau takes down the Trinex fight.
So yeah, that actually, this actually could go either way, because Waterleau still has to climb Aga Tower, whereas Alaszun has already done that. So in go mode, I think this is flipped back to Alaszun.
Yeah, and with the fact that Laser Bridge is going to be back here in the Smith house, this is going to at least bring Alaszun back into the lead for sure. And with this, and considering that Waterleau has to do a climb, this, I can imagine this could be a pretty close race. If it gets down to, barring any, well, if there's an event where Alaszun has a catastrophic incident, I don't see Alaszun. I see Alaszun taking this. I believe I may have worded that wrong.
Yeah, but
to answer something in chat, there is a Crosskeys command here to talk about what the Crosskeys mode is. And with this, Alaszun knocks down Trinex and will be on their merry way over to Ganon's tower, or not Ganon's tower, over towards Ganon. We did climb Ganon's tower originally, so now, yeah, pretty much Alaszun has this game pretty much all sewn up here.
Yeah, and Trinex did drop the last Mire Small, and with how few things left, I'm guessing that last Skullwood Small is probably on Helmasaur, because we have like almost completely full cleared this seed. Alaszun taking the Whirlpool over to the Lumberjack area, just a couple of screens to the north. Bonk into the tree and drop down into the Ganon fight.
Alaszun has played this seed very phenomenally, and Waterleau looked like he had a shot to go for it if it just came down to how Alaszun routed the end of this game, making the correct decision to leave out the Helmasaur King fight in favor of mirroring out and getting the getting over to that Skullwood's big chest to pretty much get his gold mode item.
And having the Butter Sword versus Master Sword might have even allowed, because the the fact that Waterloo still had to climb Aga Tower would kind of neutralize the extra time that Alaszun would have had to take to go to
Blinky, you missed it. Blinky, you missed it. Ganon's gone. Get your GGs in the chat for Alaszun.
Unfortunately, my computer did blink. It kind of reloaded the page on me, so I did miss it.
Yep, this will be Alaszun's game here. We'll be finishing with an official racetime.gg time of 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 5 seconds.
Yep, and it's going to be a very close race. Waterleau is going to be dropping down into the fight before the 2:30 mark. So with Master Sword and Silver's probably going to be like a 2:32-ish, maybe 2:33? Probably like 2:32 something.
And for Waterloo, this will be a Master Sword Silver's fight, being because Waterloo did not pick up the final two swords where they were. Making pretty good work on this Master Sword Silver's fight, getting onto phase 2 in at least in 2 cycles here.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Alaszun, just hit that A button one more time. I want to see your collection rate. You've got to start the credits.
Alaszun's here right now.
Oh, hello.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
GG, you really full cleared that seed in under 2.5 hours. Waterloo is in the Ganon fight now, but actually got into go mode a bit before you, but hadn't done Aga Tower yet, which allowed you to come ahead. But as you can see, he's still on Master Sword in large part because he never got that hook shot.
Yeah, although that hook shot ended up hurting me a lot more than it ended up helping me.
Yeah, it kind of led you. I mean, there was a lot in this seed that was like just wild goose chase. For a moment there, we thought he had taken the lead because you had the extra pod keys to go all the way to Helmasaur. Dipping out when you did was definitely the play. It would have been pretty close if you had gone to Helma.
I mean, there's almost no way I was going to go to Helma at the Turtle Rock Key, but at that point. But yeah, it was one of those things like, I've been really, really greedy about Aga Tower. There's a possibility that the 2 keys I'm looking for are just sitting in Aga Tower.
Yeah, and yeah, go on.
Oh, so yeah, and I honestly, I thought I was dead at the lamp. Like, I climbed the GT big key because I was trying to put my hookshot in logic, or I climbed GT because I was trying to put my hookshot in logic. And so, which I knew was locked behind either the Turtle Rock big key or the lamp. And even though the lamp was more likely to be on the climb than the Turtle Rock big key, it was still a very, very realistic option. And there were a bunch of pod keys locked behind my hookshot. And so that made me really, really not feel like going into pod, and instead wanted to grab that Turtle Rock key. And so I thought at the lamp, I'm like, well, all right, that's it. I'm dead.
Yeah.
And then I saw the small key from Uncle, and I'm like, oh my god, is salvation here? And of course not. It was a stupid pod key.
Yeah.
But what I thought I had a chance when I found that Castle Tower key, because I know that's the key that most people skip if they go into pod without 5 keys. And so I knew I had a chance there, but I certainly wasn't feeling good since I literally full cleared the game, except for Helmasaur.
Yeah, and Waterloo did end up, when he went into, he had 4 keys, and he did get both of those and just skipped out on Helmasaur because he knew it was a pendant anyway, and so he had no choice but to leave before going to Helma, and that Skullwood's big chest was go mode.
Yeah, and I will say I saw that Skullwood's big key. I'm just like, oh come on. And I like at that point I'm like, you know what? I'm probably behind. Like I full cleared the entire game. If he didn't climb, if he cut anything out of this seed, I feel like I'm behind. Hi, by the way, Waterloo. GG's.
GG.
Yeah, we've been joined by Waterloo.
What a seed.
It was
Oh.
a wild seed, and we did also have that time from the official race time.gg time, which was 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 59 seconds for Waterloo.
Yeah.
I could win if I chose pod before thieves, but I wanted to do the things 100% in logic. And yes, I think I lost because I delayed the kiln jump for too much time, I think.
That's interesting. Yeah, I never even went to the current jump.
Yes, because I left left side castle because of the stupid bonk rock in the
Yep.
front. And
Yeah, that was for a while. We were like, where's this in logic? Like, which item have we not found? Because at that point we thought it was like either flippers to get over to the pod area, or even the Cane of Samaria would have maybe let you get to the sword at least on top of the castle there. And then I think it was Alaszun was the first to find it. Someone just like finally went through that left exit of Hyrule Castle, and it's like, oh, that's why we didn't see it when they were in the pod area, because it's the pyramid.
Yeah, I'll say yeah. My way in there definitely didn't go into logic for a long time, since my way in was to fake flipper from the back of Old Man.
Yeah, both of you got in there through fake flippers. Yeah, you ended up in the dark shopping mall and did like a fake flipper from there, and Waterloo did like the bomb assisted fake flipper from the easternmost part of North Dark World.
yeah, I did 2, 3, or 4 trips to Death Mountain because I was looking for my logic, and of course it was the one of the 2 last connectors I didn't do. The one in Hookshot Cave and the one in the castle. And when I found that exit, I said, okay, I'm probably behind if he has his hammer and the first sword for a long time. When I saw the boots on Moldom, I said, if he had something the first time he went to Hera, I'm totally dead.
I'll say I didn't have it. I got my boots at about the hour mark though. I did kind of a wraparound, did Ice Palace into Hera using the connector there. Since the first time I was in Hera, I didn't have boots or I didn't have hammer or sword, and so I said, you know what, I'm just gonna push this off for right now. And did the basement and left, and then came back once I had that hammer, which was obviously really nice feeling. I noticed you never found your hook shot.
Yes.
Which sent me on some adventures this seed.
Yes, that's why I did 4 chests left side GT, and I left Rondo Room because I said, okay, maybe I will finish that seed without hookshot. So don't do out of logic things. Yes, the problem was I was looking for GT, and I said, okay, GT could be vanilla or in that tier entrance, and I had that small chest left in Hookshot Cave, and of course it was there.
Yeah. And thankfully that chest in Hookshot Cave made me actually feel pretty good. Although most of the seed made me feel pretty terrible. Because I did let's see, actually let me look at your tracker. Wait, track went away. Did you do Thieves Town all the way through?
Yes, before pod. If I chose pod before, I would win that race.
Yeah, I didn't expect to win. The only thing I thought might be my salvation was that CT key, because my go mode was the Turtle Rock Big.
And did you
Uh,
have the lamp?
I did. It was on
Okay,
the
I
climb.
did a Dark Aga too.
I mean, we had Fire Rod. I wasn't afraid of that at all. But because
yes.
I found the hook shot on the way this ended up going is I found the hook shot on Crystal Roller through the dark room and said, okay, this is either locked by the Turtle Rock Big Key or the lamp. The Turtle Rock Big Key is one of the 3 things I'm looking for to hit go mode, and so I just said I'm just gonna follow like the logic here and try to avoid doing sequence breaks, because I had found multiple pod keys that were hookshot locked on left side GT.
Yes, that's why I found a pod small left side GT, and that's why I chose Thief's Town before pod, because I said,
No,
okay,
I definitely understand that play.
and yes, and that, but that's
And so
okay.
then
I'm not
I got
mad with my routing today. It was pretty okay, and yes, GG. That's the end of the tournament for me, but that was a lot of fun.
so yeah, that's a really nice run for you too.
Yes,
Like, I
top
mean,
12 is
I thought this was a
more
coin
than I
flip
could
game
expect.
going in, so I thought there was a very real chance either of us came home and won this. And I felt so, which made me feel really bad because I didn't think I was going to be able to out execute to a win. But yeah, I ended up with a 201 collection rate here.
Yeah, I just noticed this too. I was gonna briefly mention that, but yeah, it's a 201 out of 216. Waterloo having a 172 out of 216.
Yeah, and I mean, I figure most of that is just things that were seen and not collected, because as far as I can remember,
there's 2 things in the game I did not pick up. I did not kill Helmasaur. Sorry, 3 things. I didn't kill Helmasaur. I didn't pull Ped, although obviously I checked it. And I didn't find the entrance to Agina, which I assume has to be an Agate Tower or a Ganon Tower, because I checked every other entrance in the game.
Agate Tower was TR front.
Yeah. I meant Ganon's Tower, not Agate Tower.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't really even been checking about the well, yes. There's also TR Big Chest, obviously, because TR Big Key was go mode for both of you, so we haven't seen what's in there. And yeah, as far as things that are on the tracker go, looks like the only thing that was missing was 1 Skull Wood Small.
I assume that's probably got to be on Helmasaur then.
Yeah,
because I didn't leave any visible keys. Like, I even went back for that stupid Zora key that I couldn't splash delete to because I was out of bombs.
Yeah, which was
hoping that was my Castle Tower key.
Yeah, which
yes,
it was
a Skullwood Small.
Yep, it was Skullwood.
Yeah, Skullwood Small.
So Alaszun, you'll be going up against Top Life in the losers round 6 matchup here. You will be going to do a best of 3. What are you expecting from this particular matchup?
I mean, honestly, like, I'm at the point in the tournament where I just feel like I'm playing with found money. Like, I feel good about how far I've gotten already. So if I lose, then I lose, and that's that. Top Life's a super good player. Maybe not like a particularly well-known name, but he's a really, really solid player, especially in Crosskeys. And I definitely think that can go either way. I'm sure I've beaten him before, and I'm sure he's beaten me before plenty of times in various races.
And as for Waterloo, who do you think is going to be coming up on top in this tournament as a whole?
You know, I'm French, so I will support Lin, of course.
I don't disagree.
He's the last French-speaking player in the tournament, so I hope he will win that one. I think right now he's one of the best cross-key player in the world. So yes, I bet some money on Lin.
Yeah, I think pretty much everyone I think that I might favor over Lin in a best of 3 is out of the tournament at this point. And he has the benefit of not being the high seed that was knocked down to loser's bracket, so he gets the bracket reset if even if he loses the first game.
Yeah, so this will actually be a matchup from the winners semifinals, from what I'm seeing from like round number 6, round 5 rather. So, but the quarterfinals matchup, it would be Andy versus Lyndon Lamb. That has yet to be. I don't know this if that's on the schedule yet. But yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on that matchup and figure out who might be getting knocked down to the losers bracket, or we'll continue on to the semifinals of the winners.
Yeah, I would say we'll start seeing those best of threes. Really, I mean, we've seen some already, but we'll see them coming up pretty soon. I'm excited to have made it to best of 3 land at least, so I've got at least 2 more games left in the tournament.
So if you guys have any final thoughts, please do sound off.
Zelga, I see you in chat. I hope you liked my mirror or my mirror flash during Haka.
And I know Zelga is also a fan of Danganronpa.
Yeah, he is. I would say this is my version of the Danganronpa MSU. He is the one that's like actually officially published, but he and I kind of made them independently at the same time. And so it was fun to sort of compare and contrast our two.
Yeah, I did enjoy some of those selections that you had for that. Even though I have not played any of the games yet, I should be playing them.
They're a lot of they're very fun. They're good games.
Yeah, I got to get my hands on them eventually, but that's besides the point.
All right. Well, if that's everything, we'll probably wrap up here, I guess.
Yeah.
GG's to everyone.
Like yeah, GG's to our runners.
It's definitely been a good match to finish up Lisa's bracket 5 on. So,
thanks, Waterleau. This was an awesome match, and super thanks to the comms and the trackers, especially the trackers who get the unloved. It looked like Sammy tracked by themselves.
Well, it was tracker singular for about an hour and a half. We did also get Velity drop in for a little bit as well. So, cheers to them as well for giving us a hand.
Thank you, Velity. Thank you, Sammy.
All right. Let's go raid for Gofflin. I think he's near the end of the seed he's on at the moment, but it should be fun over there. It's doing some SMZ free stuff. Always like watching a bit of that because it's ridiculously complicated, just like Crosskeys. Yay! Yeah, we do also have more matches coming up, so keep an eye on the schedule for what we've got. There is one much later tonight. It's going to be when I'm asleep, but we might be able to get that on restream. So yeah, do check it out if you can. And that's going to be it from me, I think. So thanks everyone again, and see you soon.
Take it easy.